I model curiosity by stopping talking, which is hard, and asking questions. I do it with my internal dialogue. I stop talking and I ask myself questions to try to hone in on where my thoughts are coming from, to then be able to shift to what the actual problem is.
I think that I model curiosity by just leaving space for discovery. And instead of, this is what I need you to do, I think that I'm asking more questions about where the learning is taking them.
As an administrator, it's kind of my job to be curious about a lot of different things. I need to understand where my teachers are coming from. I need to understand where the students are coming from. I need to understand where parents are coming from. I try to model it by being able to consciously model what I want teachers to do what's best for students, and I have to be able to do what's best for my staff and my parents, and that's what I've been doing.
The design process kind of reinforced in my mind the idea that when in tandem with other solution finders, great things are possible. We find new ways to fail, and finding new ways to fail is always a good thing.
Continually going back to empathy. What really is at the heart of what I'm trying to solve, or what I'm working with people, what we are trying to solve together. So it's that continual reflection to make sure we're really answering the questions that are meaningful to get us to a solution that will really have the outcomes we're looking for.
Design with the kids in mind, because even though you have high standards, you can still get them to love what they're doing and engage in what they're doing. We already tell them what they have to master. Why not give them the choice to master it with a subject that they love?
Let's look at students through an equitable lens. And it dawned on me when Dr. Smith talked about that LASIK, coming up with a LASIK perspective versus the lens perspective. Because at any given moment, you're able to take, just like I have these glasses on my face, I'm able to take it off when I don't want to deal with it, when I don't want to see it, when I want to be blind. So then I started talking to other people and just having those conversations. Like, at the end of the day, I can't get rid of the color of my skin, and neither can the kids around you. So taking that lens off is just not an option.
In distance learning, there is a perpetuation to ask for compliance and police students. The students furthest from opportunity, I feel, tend to be the ones that are the most policed and forced into the most compliant situations that don't necessarily enhance their learning.
And the pilot's perspective really just reaffirmed that, because we have to make sure that everyone makes it. Not just the students who have families that can advocate for them, not just the students who get lucky and have a super passionate teacher with all of the tools and resources and maybe enough of their own money to bring in to help make sure that everything is cozy and fun. Every single child has to make it, and that's really what the pilot's perspective is about. And if every child has to make it, then so does every teacher.
So as I engage with teachers and constantly hearing about this idea of engagement, it really pushed me towards my prototype, which is to coach teachers on how to increase engagement in digital learning. That leads to the broader conversation of what is engagement in your face-to-face teaching as well.
Really, my prototype was just to make sure that, regardless of if we have a substitute teacher, an ARL teacher, or someone who has had a teacher's heart since they were 6 years old, let's give them what they need to get a really strong start in our district.
But if we started with citizenship, character, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, how would that change our outcomes?
I'm excited to prototype my solution to help some of our creatives, because I'm excited to see how it doesn't work. Interested in seeing how we can fail forward and how we can find a new way to the future, given that students should be the centerpiece of the education system.
Even when I come into meetings, I'm like, okay, I've got a meeting tonight. I've had a long day at work, whatever, and I gotta be there, and I'm exhausted. By the end of the meeting, I'm leaving energized again, because it's these conversations where you feel like the magic's happening. We are making a difference. Something is going to happen.
There's this phrase that says, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Every time I meet with this cohort, it is challenging me, and listening to the different perspectives really causes me to pause and think as well.
I really learned that even in a field like education, where we work within certain constraints, we can give space and grace to not only ourselves, but our students. Being around people who have, 3 and 4 times as many years as me really just makes me want to keep going and stay inquisitive and stay curious and just figure out what my path is.
What drew me to this is the idea of being among a group of educators who are excited about looking at problems and solving them, not just having problems, and being able to bounce ideas back and forth in a safe, reflective space where you can be intellectually stimulated and vulnerable and throw all ideas out there and have people who are interested in, even if it's not their prototype we're talking about, everybody's still interested in everybody's ideas because we all have the same goals and we're all trying to move forward to improve outcomes for students.